Ladies and gentlemen, we are live. PSR is excited to present to you Last Call, featuring your boy, the pimp slap POD, Mike M.
Pimpin' ain't easy, but it's fun like money. Got bookies on the run, now it's time to get money. Not your typical way to ball. It's last call like some convicts waiting on the next draw. You can feel the tension. Did I mention? Fools better pay attention, cause we getting paid like a pension. T's on the ones and twos, we not the ones that lose. Mike, money's killers might even make the even news.
And now, let's get to the picks.
We be pumping! Buzz Force Radio, you know we be pumping!
What up? Welcome into Last Call. Here we go. The bridge to the weekend is Thursday. We are there, and you are ready to rock with us here at Last Call. Appreciate you guys dropping in. Can't wait here. We got ourselves a great card tonight. We got ourselves a banging NHL slate, and it continues to be oh so good to us. Nice little bounce back spot after probably the worst NHL day that we've had on the show. So we're going to roll back into the NHL. We're going deep, baby. We're going deep tonight with them skates. Going to lace them up. Going to go out there and crack these bookies with them hockey sticks. Two-handed stick Morgan Riley to the face style tonight. But we're going to follow it up with some college basketball, and we're getting into the mid-majors. You want to get into the mud? We're going to go out there with our guy C-Mac tonight with these mid-major plays. He sent me his card. I was laughing. I was like, I love these games. I can't wait to go through those with our guy C-Mac. And then we're going to cap it off. We do have 3 NBA games last day before the All-Star break. And 3 looks out there. You know, I was just talking to my guy. Shout out T on the 1s and 2s here on a Thursday. It's a rare treat to get him in here. And we were just talking about the NBA trends with the All-Star break and kind of throw them out the window. But I think we have a couple looks tonight that'll help us get out there and cook the book. So excited to get into the show. Appreciate all you guys rocking with us here. Just getting out of work, just getting on your way home, just getting home, figuring out what you're going to do for dinner. It's Last Call. We're going to help you guys figure out what to get your cash placed on tonight, using the angles, trends, cash flow, and our chat to give you guys what we think are the best bets on the board. And best of all here, we got a sharp chat, guys, and we need your help if you're just getting in here in the chat. Smash the like button. We only ask you to do 3 things every show. Hit the like button. Help us crack the code for the 6 o'clock time slot. We're the best ones to do it. Lots can try to replicate what's going on with this cash flow stuff, but it takes experience to be able to put it all together to come up with these winning bets. Furthermore, we ask you to get a pen and paper. Lots of great plays being shared, not just by myself and our panel, but of course the chat that gets sharper day by day. And last but not least, guys, we ask you to throw your plays in the chat. We want to capitalize on what's going on. We want to highlight your guys' plays as much as everybody else's because we're all working as one in concert to go smack them bookies, take the cash out of their pockets, and put it in ours. So that's what we're all about here tonight. That's what we're going to get down to work for. And despite the fact that we've only got 3 NBA games, we do have a full college basketball card and a huge NHL slate. So, we're going to take you through the ice to get it done here. Appreciate everybody dropping in here. I see our guy, Joe T. First one up in the chat tonight. He says, Mike M., let's get that cash. Another easy casher for our guy, Joe T. Had that Hawaii Cal Poly game over 130 last night. And he's giving us that Minnesota-Purdue, a little Big Ten action for our guy, Joe T. Likes the over 145. There's our guy, Futon Bets. He likes Northwestern +4. He wants a little smooth, a little Southern Methodist first half money line. And he's going to go with Dame over 3.5 threes tonight. Says, let's cash Mike. Like the looks of that card, Futon Bets. Thank you, Joe T. and Futon for sharing. Brian Watson up in the house. Let's go. He says, I've been waiting since 7:30 last night. Love to hear it, my guy. I feel like I've been doing the same thing. I got done a little bit earlier today, and I was just kind of sitting around. I ended up watching some guy making, jambalaya on Facebook or something. I don't even know what happened. I just lost track of the time. But here we are, rested and ready to go to get this cash from these bookies. Swizz, what up, Swizz? He says, we be pumping. Justin McKelvey's in the house. Ian Shaber, gamble up there, says Senators over max wager. It's interesting. My brother and I were talking about some hockey not that long back, and he was like, every Canadian team, when they play head-to-head, goes over. We dug into the weeds, and we found that 6 is not so much, but 6.5's 75% of the over in the NHL gamble. So you're on a look there, my guy. Love to see it. UFU says, money time, wine time sports is my brother from another mother up in the chat tonight out there. Appreciate you, wine time. Let's go, you guys. Ian Shaver says, smash the like button. please do that. Help us crack this code. Gamble says, does Volkanovski starch Topuria? We're going to bring our UFC expert on tomorrow to go in there. He had himself a 1-1-1 last week, but we made a ton of cash with the whole list of plays out there. So we will talk about that and be ready to go tomorrow. B-Time says, family, let's go. Smash the like button for the pimp, says our guy T, rocking on the 1s and 2s out there. And there's our guy Jay Smooth. The smooth balls, you know you got to keep them smooth. It's the smooth balls play of the day. He likes Western Kentucky -6. Not mad at that play whatsoever. UTEP suspect. Parlay Angel in the house. Good to see you, my guy. And Jokov says, let's get some greens, baby. Let's go. You know, we're going to get that cash tonight. I feel it in my loins. Let's go. UFU says, I'm tailing all these picks for real. Let's go. Let's go. Wine Time Sports says, my 3 plays today. Here we go. He's got the Jazz money line at +110. Should be a bounce back spot after that letdown yesterday against the Lake Show. The Blazers +9, and he likes that UCLA Colorado game under 136 out there. 29. What's up, my guy? Good to see you checking in from Australia, the land down under. Fernando Mendoza says, RIP to the bookies. Hell yeah. Shout out our guy Jay Peasy, putting together a little ditty there, a little earworm for everybody to enjoy as we kick this show off. Rocco Rogers says, what's good, crew? How we doing? Big NHL card and lots of live opportunities tonight. And there's my guy, Dan Kelly, says, I think this is some great value on Milwaukee to win the Central at +195. They might not win it, but sometime before the season ends, they should take the lead, and you can lock in some plus money for our guy, Dan Kelly, out there. Dan, we appreciate your hard work in the hardwood there with the NBA looks, and make sure you write that one down, crew. Wine Time's ready. Let's get it in. He says 29.19, up 10.2 units to start February. Our guy Wine Time's been banging this month here, rallying back. I know he was focused on getting that cash, and he is getting it indeed. UFU says Utah Utes are live, baby. I definitely agree with that spot there. Swig Bets in the house. Morgan Spooner. Let's go, you guys. There's our guy, Jay Peasy. Dan Kelly says, here's the crazy thing. Milwaukee to win the Central is +195. Milwaukee to win the East is +250. Can Doc Rivers go out there and do it is the question, Dan Kelly. We will see. Joe T, the Hawaii is tonight. I gave out the South Carolina game over last night. Oh, yeah, of course. My bad. Gamble says, also like the Edmonton over. Ian Shaber says, JPZ, I see you guy. Let's beat him up. Let's go. You guys are ready. Dan Kelly says, there's no value on that to win the East, but there's lots of value to win the Central. Yeah, the +250 seems like it's a touch low on the East. Maybe some other opportunities to look, and depending on how they fall behind, you might be able to catch back up there or use it as a hedge. Gamble says, I think it's a buy low spot, just concerned because of what happened in last performance, but I do think he bounces back. Let's roll. You guys are ready to rock. I'm ready to rock. Let's get into it here. Nunya says, just rolled in the door. Got to get this deer stew going. Then cash some tickets, my guy. Make sure you use some garlic out there with that deer stew. Let's go. North Ender in the house. Let's go, my guy. Resisting it all. Going with at Wham. And he likes DeAndre Ayton over 14.5 points. One day we'll get our guy Wham Bam on the show. It's only right. But, he's a busy man. So appreciate you sharing his look in there, resisting it all. Justin McKelvey says, Dan Kelly, yes, sir. On to Bucks +210 when I bet it. Let's go. You guys are ready to rock. I can feel it. Mel's in the house. Mel, what up? Mel says the play is Tampa in regulation at +130. And when Mel's fading her abs, you better listen up. You better follow suit there. We've all learned our lesson in that spot. So Nunya says, got yesterday's ready to eat, making a second crock pot for tomorrow. You got to plan ahead, man. It's very important, but especially if you have too many cocktails. Then all you got to do is turn that crock pot on, throw it on low, and away you go. Let's go. Our guy 101 Benny in the house says cash flow POD. Washington -4.5. Other plays got a unit on is Memphis +1.5 out there. Nice. I know our guy Dabby Cab likes that Memphis first half spot out there, so you're in good company, 101 Benny. Dan Kelly says, thanks for all your hard work, Pimp Slapper. Oh, man, Dan Kelly, thank you. Thank you, Dan Kelly. I get the pleasure of coming out here to share with you guys every day. And it's not work if you enjoy what you do, and I very much do. I love working hard and getting to that cash with you guys. All about trying to find the best way to get that money in our pockets. And strategic investments, laying it down for everybody out there. Best be heard. Now you're on notice. 101 watching, 38 likes. Hit the like button out there. Do it for our guy. Do it for me. You're going to do it for anybody. Do it for T. It's Thursday. We got T rocking the 1s and 2s today. Hit that like button. Help us crack this code, you guys. We've been growing day by day. member by member, show by show, and we appreciate you guys rolling in here, hanging out with us. Nothing that we take for granted when it comes to scrubbing hard on the card, trying to find a way to get that money. And let's go. You guys know the deal here. We're going to start off show recap. Transparency is 100. We got to make sure that we recap the previous day, keep it rolling in the positive direction. Then we're going to jump into hockey. Again, a big card. Then we'll bring our guy C-Mac on for college hoops. We'll close it out with 3 NBA plays there. We'll talk about the cash flow, the splits. We'll talk about a couple of angles that I think make sense. And we'll put a bow on the show and get you guys off to start your nights out there. Patrick Burns in the house. Coin in the house. Nunya says, true. My boss stays bringing me deer meat. I've had it. Only take one this year. Let's go. Oh, my guy, Nunya. Get it, my guy. Enjoy that deer meat and that deer stew. Put a couple potatoes, a little carrot in there. You're on your way, dude. Let's go. Nunya says he likes Detroit Trojans at home tonight. I'm going to talk about that game. I've got a spot on that game that we'll break down for you guys as well. Let's go. Let's get into this recap. We got a busy show tonight. We want to get things rolling and get everybody out at a reasonable time here. So, look, yesterday, we'll recap it. We'll fire around the horn real quick. It was a 5-5 day. You know, could have been better. Certainly could have been worse. We've seen that before. But we did sweep the hockey board. So we had 3 games, and we rolled through that hockey like champions that we've been here in the NHL. We got the Florida Panthers money line, no sweat. Start to finish. I think the final was 5-2 or maybe 6-2. I stopped watching when it was 4-0. So, great news. That was nice cash. Low vig on that spot there. We got the Jets with the Jets under 5.5. Could have been under 1.5. That was a final of 1-0 game out there. And we nailed that one. That was a nice even money spot for that Winnipeg Jets team. I've said it before. Look, the Jets played just good enough to win. So they're not going out there to be world beaters. They're not trying to set any goal scoring records. They're very much remind me a little bit of the old school New York Islanders, where they're kind of defensive sound or minded. They've got hella buck and goal, playing a hella hockey, and they just go out there and find a way to play a productive 60 minutes of puck. And they did that just yesterday, getting that shutout W. Minnesota Wild was a win for us there as well. That was the third leg there for hockey. And look, that was the revenge spot. We talked about it. It cashed. And guess what's back tonight? Back again. Tell your friends we got ourselves a little spot here with the revenge play. And we'll talk and highlight that for you guys. Going through college basketball, we went 1-1. We had that North Florida spot, 3.5. Didn't need it. They were wire to wire. Money line winner themselves. So plus 3.5 cash, but Eastern Tennessee let us down, did us dirty. And look, plus 7.5. Thought we had the spot. They started to close the gap. I think they lost by 9, if I'm not mistaken, but not the best day in college basketball yesterday. A couple of spots that I had just didn't go the way I wanted them to. And then trying to go and add a couple here at the end of the show or towards the late night hour just didn't work out for us. But hey, 3-0 in hockey, 1-1 in college hoops. Got to do some work in the NBA. Big card, and I'm guilty of the guy that sees this big card and thinks, let's go get this cash. Some of you guys in the chat said it with Atlanta minus 6.5. That was my favorite revenge angle there with the NBA. And unfortunately, didn't get the job done. They got blasted. The Toronto under 247, blasted. But Toronto did get that +4. That was sweaty at the end, but a little 2-point victory out there. The Jazz shit the bed, and the Suns over did not get there either. So that's how you go 5-5. Good news. We're just kind of batting it around a little bit, trying to tread some water, looking for those big scores. And I'm excited about tonight's action because I do feel we've got the scores in place to get that cash tonight. So guys, just getting ready. Let's go. We're about to get it done. Brian Watson says Richmond killed me. Those Spiders, man. The A10, what a spot. And then there was another one that I liked in the A10 there with St. Bonaventure, but I ultimately stayed off it, and they killed them. So just the wrong spot there. The A10 still kind of struggled for me to figure out what the right sides are. And there's our guy Nunya with the Nunya Business Play of the Day. Tarleton money line going on the road and getting that plus 175 cash. He says, yes, you heard it right. These fuckers still giving us that cushion with Tarleton. Let's ride, my guy. Appreciate you sharing that. Mel Rocco Rogers says, you think you hate fading the Avs? Try being me, LOL. Look, I love fading the Flyers. I hate when they cash, so I can feel your pain to some extent as well. But we got a Flyers game on tonight here against Toronto. Them boys went down to Mexico on the break there, the All-Star break. Had a lot of fun. It looked like it. I saw a lot of guys posting pictures with their significant others and cocktails galore. I said it before. Nobody parties like hockey players party. We talked about it at Christmas time. They got video and photo evidence of it during this All-Star break. And them boys like to get after it when they're not playing hockey. So, yeah, hey, shout out to them hockey players. Nobody cocktails like hockey players do, and I stand by that. Nunya says Tarleton +5 as well. Not a bad idea to kind of get both sides of the equation, Nunya. Love to see the look. And Gamble says, Florida puck line looked so juicy last night, but I was too scared to bet it. Hey, that's okay. Hopefully you got the money line. It was a reasonable spot for the money line. Minus 125, I think, is what we closed out at. And that's all good, right? That's all we need is a reasonable low juice spot there. Does it hurt the ROI a little bit? Sure. But no worries. No worries. Away we go. Dan Kelly says, I'm sure my win percentage fading the Browns and Cavs is like 94%. I got a couple teams like that. I've got a couple teams that fall into that criteria for me. And Caddy Daddy says, Hovland with a bogey on 18th to push the 3-ball. Goddamn Victor. You know, he withdrew from that tournament last week. And he got together with his coach before this tournament. This tournament's a little unique, not just because of Tiger in PGA, but it's a condensed field and they've got a bigger purse. So for being a regular PGA Tour event, there's big stakes on the line. So lots of guys out there to get it done. And Victor knew that. Victor Hovland went out there and again withdrew, got with his coach, spent a couple of days, and he ran up that leaderboard early. I haven't seen how they finished out because of what we're doing here for the show, but yeah. I look at golf too. I cap everything. Let's go. Jay Peasy says Toronto nipple leaks. North Ender says should be a good game. Wine Time Sports, guys. Let's dig into it here. 130 plus rocking, guys. Hit that thumbs up button. Show the support. And let's get rolling here. Let's get these skates on and dig into this hockey card tonight. Excited to see it. You know, we deserve it. We've been focused and really dialed in with what's going on in the NHL. So let's put it to the test tonight, right? Let's get working. Let's see if we got some things going on. And I committed to this. I said to you guys, there are some boosts out there. Every time I see them, I want to take advantage of them. And that I'm trying to do tonight. I've got a parlay together. They've got a nice little, what do they call it? Progressive parlay or stepped up parlay, I think is what it is. The more legs you do, the more cash they give you. So I believe we put together a 4-legger to get a nice little 30% boost on this thing. So, we'll count it as a unit based on the traditional numbers if you can't play the boost, but check that out. I want to say it was DraftKings that has that spot out there. So we'll talk about that here as we get into hockey. Steve Bailey says Lightning money line, Colorado road weary. So we'll talk about that. Everything I saw pointed to Tampa Bay with one exception, and we'll talk about it. We'll bring it up. We'll dig into the weeds for it, but let's go. It's time here with the NHL to get to work and excited to bust out this first game for you guys here. One reference. Home favorites in the NHL have been kicking ass at about a 68% rate here in the NHL this season. Furthermore, when they're over minus 200, so those spots where you think no team should be a minus 200, just fade them. That's not true. You're down units if you're just blindly fading them in that spot there. I could show you guys the numbers, but you got to believe in me when I say to you guys, I run these calculations. I see them all the time across the board. That being said, with this game in Seattle and Boston, if you follow the NHL as I do, one thing you'll know for sure, Boston doesn't give a shit about playing the Seattle Kraken. Matter of fact, I believe the Kraken have covered every single puck line in Boston since they've started playing in the NHL. So here we go with a little coin flippy situation. Maybe I'm tipping my hand. Maybe I'm showing you my cards as to what I'm trying to get into with this one here. But we've got Joey Decord in goal at 15, 11, and 9 for Seattle. And he's been playing better than serviceable. He's borderline on the elite numbers out here. If Seattle could put some firepower together for this guy, he would be in that elite bucket. He's 236 goals against average, 92.1% save percentage. He's definitely of quality. So kind of the tiers and the rankings, you've got, below serviceable or shitbags. Then you've got your serviceables. Then you've got your qualities. And then you've got your elites. And he's somewhere between quality and elite. He should have a better record if they could score. Swayman on the other side of things has been kind of falling on some rocky ground lately here. 16, 5, and 7. We'll dig into it. Joey Decord got the night off. And it's interesting because despite putting their backup in there, they still picked up a 2-1 win against those New York Islanders. I know a lot of people were on the Islanders, but here's the thing. 2-6-1 in the last 9 games for this Seattle Kraken team. So despite that Islanders win, struggling. 91.6% though in his last number of starts is this Joey Decord. And on the other side of things, we've got Swayman. Swayman off of back-to-back losses in regulation. He's let in 6 goals on 57 shots. which is good enough for an 89.5% save percentage. I think now is the time to pounce. We know that the situation is Seattle has covered just about, if not every single puck line against the Bruins, suggesting coin flippy situations. We got all the cash coming in on this Boston Bruins team, 90% of the bets, 81% of the cash. The line is shrinking. It's dropped from a plus 170 to a plus 165 for the Seattle Kraken team, and I think it makes sense. There's a lot of angles around the Bruins. If they lose one, they bounce back. That's not true. This year, more than years past, they've been losing multiples. They've been stacking them up. They've gone 2 in a row, even 3 in a row this season here. And that's what we're counting on tonight here is a little slow start. What they have done after back-to-back losses is played a tight game to the under. So if you put all of this together and you look at it and you see the puck line, favors Seattle, or at least Seattle's been covering the puck lines. Boston, after back-to-back losses, has a lower scoring game. We just need a little 2-2 overtime, maybe sneak one in there in overtime or an empty netter, 4-2 type of win here to get the Seattle Kraken on board. And the trend I'm working with here tonight on this game here, tight plays produce more winners is what I'll call it here. When your biggest lead and your opponent's biggest lead in that last game was less than 2, you look at this Seattle Islanders game, they played in 1-1 spots there. Seattle went up 1-1. 1-0. They tied at 1-1. Seattle ends up getting the win. When the win margin is 1 and you're on the road, you're 94 and 82 in those spots. Big opportunity here for what should be essentially a low price. The sky is falling Boston spot to take advantage of this 94-82 and get a plus 165 while we're doing it. So not a big fan of the Kraken as far as a team as a whole. I still think they're, kind of living off of what, from a franchise perspective, what Vegas did. I don't think they drafted very well. But I think we've got a Boston team that's definitely in a difficult spot right now. Back-to-back losses off of Tampa and Washington. They got shut out by Washington. Let's not forget that. 3-0 shutout to Washington. And then losing 3-2 to Tampa Bay on their home ice here. This is their 5th game on their home ice as well. Things tend to become a little lethargic. And I think it's a great opportunity to take advantage of the Seattle Kraken at plus 165. So we're going to open the card up. It's actually fallen again. 164s, 162s, 160s, 158s. 164, that's okay. It's moving in the direction we want to see, and we didn't lose a lot of value in there by going from 165 to 164. That's how we're opening up the hockey card tonight. We're taking a stab with this Seattle Kraken, and I think it makes a lot of sense. So we're going to put our money where our mouth is here. Cheshire Cat says, you don't trail anybody, you tail. Hey, man, that's okay. We'll blaze the trail, and you're welcome to come walk along for us. No worries, my guy. Let's go. Game number 2 we're going to drop into here. Voodoo Ranger says draw Boston 3-2 in overtime. Hey, I hope not, Voodoo Ranger, but everybody's entitled to their opinion, and we appreciate you sharing yours. I don't mind that draw spot there, though. That's a nifty little spot there, a little nifty little overtime potential play. Wonder what the draw is in this game here. Let me take a peek. I'm not going to be able to find it quickly here, but anyhow. Not mad at that play. I just think it's going to be a low-scoring game, and I think in a low-scoring game with a better goaltender at the moment, we've got an opportunity for Seattle to get the win. Let's roll on to game number 2. We're going to Madison Square Garden, where Les Habitants are playing the New York Rangers. The Rangers are going out there with Jonathan Quick, right? We talked about the mind trickery that this coach was playing between Quick and Shesterkin, right? We had, after the All-Star break, they should have gone to Shesterkin for some big games. They went to Quick. They wanted Shesterkin to get his confidence back, and they put him out there against ye old bags of shit, and they've been picking up W's along the way. So the Rangers are definitely in a buy mode right now. And we've got the Canadians with Montembeault playing not bad considering the team. I say not bad. 3.06 goals against average, 90.8% save percentage. The other side of the ice there, we've got Jonathan Quick with a 2.27 goals against average and a 91.9% save percentage here. Lots of things to dig into on this one. When I started looking at this game initially, I was thinking, maybe I'll try to get in there. I know there's some same game parlay action for, I want to say DraftKings as well for this game. But all signs point to the Rangers for me in this one. I get it. Montreal, we talked about this before. Unfortunately, Colorado shut us down with this spot. But, we've got a situation where the Canadians just shut out the Anaheim Ducks 5-0 2 nights ago. And we've got the Rangers who haven't played now in 3 nights, but they are coming off a shutout as well. So 2 teams that are running in defensive directions, things you want to see this time of year, supporting opportunity. You could really look at it and say either side makes sense. But the thing with Montreal is it wasn't Monteval that got the shutout. It was Caden Primo, 5-0. We were on the Ducks. We missed that one. But Monteval, prior to that, 35 saves on 38 shots for a 92.1% save percentage. Ended up being a 3-2 loss to the Dallas Stars. You look at it, 3 or less goals in his last 3 games, and they've somehow managed a 2-1 record in that situation. The Rangers on the other side, 3-0 shutout. Quick's going now 4 starts in 5 games, minus that Shesterkin start that we talked about, but he's playing even better. 2 or fewer goals in 3 games. He's 3-0 with a 95.1% save percentage. We know the Rangers are on a 5-game win streak. They're taking it to the test. And here's the challenge. You got a hot goaltender coupled with now the 6th worst offense in the NHL, that is Montreal. They're averaging 2.75 goals for. It's going to be tough to find goals in this game, and it's going to be tough specifically, in my opinion, coming off this 5-0 shutout win to find goals. That was Anaheim. That's not New York Rangers. That's not battle-tested, playoff-bound New York Rangers. When you've got the home team, the opponent's awful win, and was home in their last game, that home team now has gone 20-4, and they're covering by 1.54 goals a game in that situation. So you've got this spot that focuses and favors this exact spot for New York Rangers. It also favors the Toronto Maple Leafs tonight out there against the Philadelphia Flyers. But in this spot, we're focusing in on the Rangers. When you last played the Calgary Flames and you're a home favorite, you're 47-80 in those spots out there. Calgary, and I think a lot of it has to do with the style of game that they play. They're a defensive-oriented team as well. They're lower scoring, but they make you kind of control your own end of the ice, and puck control dominates and wins games. So 1.43 goals margin in those spots suggests, hey, you're up in those games because you're defensive-minded. You get up, you control the puck, and you pop an empty netter in there, and that's what I think happens here tonight. We're going to take the Rangers. We've got the Rangers on the puck line tonight. I think we're going to expose Montreal in this spot. We got the Rangers now at -1.5. And the best number we see now is plus 102. So it was plus 105s. Again, we're moving in the right direction there to get to a plus 102 and comfortable with this -1.5 or plus 102 because we're not laying juice and odds. You guys know I said this the other night. Rather get punched in the face and kicked in the you-know-whats than lay a -1.5 and a -150. Maybe it wins. Maybe that's fine, but I'd rather find another way to go out there and skin that cat. And I think with this one here, -1.5 at plus 102 feels like the right price to get this job done. So we got 2 dogs to open the card here. We're going bark here to get this thing done, but not entirely dogs here. I think the Rangers, are favorites for a reason. Again, that line's dropped down. Cheshire Cat. Let's go. Everybody's steaming it up. Loopy says, Mikey, blast, LOL, my nickname for you. Blast from the point of your loudness on your mic here. Am I blasted? Am I hot? Am I loud? I'm excited is what I am. So Jared TG says, I badly want the Rangers to fail. And I used to think that way back in the day. So let me turn that down a little bit. If I'm getting too loud, if I'm too excited for you guys, then we got to get this thing working so you guys can hear appropriately. But game number 3 in the NHL card. I told you we're going deep in the NHL tonight. We're turning it on. We got this Colorado and Tampa Bay spot. You guys have been talking about it. And look, I'm not in the business of fading our chat. You guys are sharp. I'm on board with it. I think it makes a ton of sense. And we had a coin flip spot at -110s to start this game. Goaltending announcements and changes have led us to a spot where it's now a small favorite for the Tampa Bay Lightning. Is it Anuin? Anuin's going in goal for Colorado Avalanche. Doesn't sound right as I say it aloud, but I butchered plenty of UFC names, so I'll go with it here. 1-1 in goal, 4.03 goals against average, and an 88.68 percentage. Vasilevsky, 18-11, 2.76, 90.4%. He's in that good category or quality category. Anuin is in that bag of shit category, right? So that's how we're going to start this cap. I gave you guys some of those breakdowns with these goalies. Anuin, 4 goals on 30 shots. His last start was a 5-3 loss to the New Jersey Devils. Tampa Bay quietly on a 2-0 win streak going on in their last 2. And it's because of stellar play from Vasilevsky. Check this out. This guy's gone 3 or less goals in 11 straight games. He's 9-2 in those games with a 91.7% save percentage. We know Colorado kind of feeling a little relief there. They had themselves a little 4-game losing streak going before they snapped it 6-3 to the Washington Capitals. But I'm going to discount that because it's the Washington Capitals. I was on the Caps on that one. I know Mel was on the Colorado side. Congrats. That game went 2-0, then 2-2, and Colorado stepped on the gas after that and got the job done. But aside from that, I think, we'll asterisk that win there, and we'll say we got this Tampa Bay team that's hot. And I think in this case here, when you look at what's going on with Colorado, I don't want to say they're throwing in the white towel, but, based on their schedule and what they've got going on here, they know that this is a tough spot for them against Tampa Bay. And they're going to save their goaltender for the Arizona-Vancouver stretch going back home. In the meantime, though, they're going to throw this guy to the Wolves, and Colorado is probably going to get beaten up in this game. When you got the home favorite that's got one or more power play goals their previous game, and they won and went under, it's 49-25. So think about that for a second. You're the home favorite. I just talked about how dominant home favorites have been in the NHL this season. They're winning at almost a 2-1 clip. Their power play's working. They scored one or more goals on special teams the previous game. They won, and they kept the other team from scoring by way of going under. I mean, that's all the metrics you want with your best goaltender in net to force a play on in that spot. And they're 49-25 in those positions. Tampa as a home favorite versus non-conference opponents is 11-3 this year. Say no more. There's no reason for me to look at this Colorado side. The only number I have, I don't know if I even kept the screen up anymore or not. I didn't. Did I? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. This is the small attendance factor here. So if this happens, I'm going to be pissed, but it is what it is. We'll deal with it if we have to. But when the Avalanche are on the road and they're playing against a small barn that designated by somewhere between 16,900 fans and 19,000 fans, they're 23-13 in those spots. So they're also 10-25 to the under in those spots. But Tampa Bay definitely has a smaller barn. And I think that's only trend that I found that supports playing on the Colorado Avalanche. Maybe the noise doesn't bother them. I don't know. Maybe they just want to go in there and think. I don't know. Tampa Bay is a little different, though. I can discount that trend by saying Tampa Bay is a Stanley Cup champion, and that city's ready for hockey, and they're proud of their team. So I do think that's a little that's digging deep, Mike. That's digging deep, my guy. But I wanted to keep that one up because I saw that. I wanted to share it with you guys. The margin's not terrific, though. It's 3 goals to 2.8. So coin flippy situation, and all things pointing to an opportunity to take this Tampa team. That might be a draw situation. Wouldn't surprise me to see this be a draw, but that would mean that Annanen's got to stand on his head to get that draw for them. So I don't suspect that to be the case. We'll move on to the next game, but we are locking in the Colorado Avalanche at the Tampa Bay Lightning at -115. I just want to take a peek. -115s are on their way ups now. We've got -122s, 125s, 126s, and 130s as the high out there now, the high watermark. So, this game's going to pop off at 7 p.m. Make sure you get them now if you're thinking about jumping on them, because it's going to get even less beneficial as we move forward. So, next game on the card, I told you we're opening up. We got 3 more hockey spots, and I'm adding one here. I got to do it. I can't not do it here. Let's roll on to this next game here. I actually backed one away. I took one off, so I got room to make one more if that's what we're going to have to do. So, Nasty Nate, shout out to you, my guy. He says, told y'all Celtics smash. They did, my guy. Let's go. What a spot there. They couldn't beat them the first night, or they couldn't cover the spread, but they kicked the shit out of them that second night. So, Mel says, obviously anything can happen, but this says Tampa team total overwritten all over it. I hope so. I hope it's a good goal. I mean, this should be like a 3-3 going into overtime, Mel, and then Tampa finds a way to get the job done. That's kind of how I'm feeling on this one, but we'll see. 50-point blowout, says Loopy. yeah, that game was that became unwatchable, right? Loopy says Vassell faced 800 shots compared to Quick's 500 shots. Boy, yeah, that's interesting. That's interesting. Vassell, I'm assuming we're talking about hockey. That's hard to believe because Vasilevsky spent a chunk of the season hurt. Interesting spot there. Interesting stat. Appreciate you sharing that. Nasty Nate says, hope y'all hopped on the -49. I'll tell you, I didn't, Nasty Nate. I wish I'd seen you say that. That would have caught my attention. Mel says, Mike, I'd be thrilled to get a miracle point out of this game. You might, but let's go. Let's talk about this next game. We're going to jump into Vasilevsky started 29 games. Yeah. He spent that first third of the season on the IR. So, next game on the hop here, next game on the docket, we're going to go to this Dallas Stars and Nashville Predators game. I told you guys yesterday, the circle spot, if we saw that team come back and Minnesota did get that revenge spot, guess what we have tonight? we have a revenge spot out here. If we want to look at these goaltenders, we can. Ottinger, 19-9-2 in net for the Dallas Stars. Nashville's got Saros going in at 20-20-2. He's a coin flip guy, but he's all they got. What are they going to do? They got to go with this guy. And this line's been cooking towards Dallas. So, the angle that I took on this one here, I saw Saros, 43 of 46 saves in his loss to New Jersey. It was a 4-2 game the last time, the last game out for Saros. However, they did have a game where he started against Dallas. That was a December 23rd, 2 days before Christmas. It was a 3-2 regulation loss. So the two starting goaltenders going head-to-head produced a 3-2 loss for Nashville. Now, Nashville did have a bounce-back spot, though, against Dallas. It wasn't Saros in goal, though. And here we go with this revenge opportunity. We'll get to that in a second, though. We've got Ottinger with 6-game win streak going on right now. 2 or fewer goals in his last 3 games, 95.1% save percentage since the All-Star break. And look, I looked at this one a lot of different ways. Originally, I was a little reluctant, but I'm going to make a move. The West versus the West, when they got 2 Western Conference teams that square off against each other, it's 7-24 to the under. The average score or the average line we're seeing is sitting at 6.2. So this thing's pegged at 6.5. I jumped on the under in this game. I think both these two teams are in a situation where they're going to play aggressively. We've seen when they've got the best goaltender versus the best goaltender, that they are, in fact, finding unders. This line opened at 6.5, by the way. Lots of cash was coming in on that over, but it's now since dropped to 6. So there's still 6.5s out there, minus 120s, moderate juice. But that's a spot that I did move on. And look, I can't not do it. I got to do it. Dallas -1 is going to be a show ad for me here. It's that revenge spot. What am I, an asshole? Of course not. Well, I am an asshole, but that being said, I'm going to take advantage of this revenge situation here. It's been too damn good to us not to. You guys know the angle. I've talked about it time and again. When you lost as a home favorite, now you're an away favorite in the same season, as long as it's lined less than -200. 533 and 278 in those spots out there. We cashed on it last night. We're going to run it back here today. We're not going to pay the juice, though. We're not going to take the -150s, the -152s, and the -155s. The -1 is -108 here. I don't like the form that Nashville's in, ultimately, is what kind of defines and how I differentiate between the money line. Look, you can do what you want with your cash out there, but Nashville's 1-4 in their last 5 games. They're not scoring enough goals to get the job done. 2, they did get a 5, but that was against Arizona. That was their lone win. They lost 4-2 to New Jersey. They lost 4-2 to the Los Angeles Kings, who have not been playing well. They got their coach fired. They lost 4-3 to Ottawa, and they lost 4-1 to Edmonton. The theme there, they're not scoring more than 2 goals when they play playoff caliber teams like this Dallas Stars team. So I'm comfortable with this one here. I think it's another maybe 4-2 situation with the -1 as well at -108. And this is also on the other side of things to support this kind of head-to-head. When you previously beat them, so this one's focusing on the Nashville Predators. When you previously beat them, the last time you played them, you went to an under your last game as a favorite. You're in a situation where you're 37-18 to the under in those spots, suggesting a lower scoring game as well. So I think there's a lot of value here on this under, and I like this revenge spot here. Maybe it's a 3-1 final. Like I could see this one game scripting out where it's 2-1 in the third period, and then Dallas pokes the empty netter in there to get cash on both sides for us. If we push the -1 because it goes to overtime and Dallas wins, I'm okay with that. But I think it's a lower scoring game as well. So under 6.5 and the -1 are going to be double dipping for me on this game here. And anybody that wanted to get cute with these parlays, wouldn't be mad if you went -1.5 or the money line in the under as an opportunity as well. There's lots of ways to get into this game. I think it just makes a lot of sense. Small World Lifter says, what does Dallas under 6.5 mean? Is that shorthand for both teams total under 6.5 goals, or is the spread? No, you're good, man. Good. Hey, happy to see him. Happy to see English, he says. Yeah, it's shorthand, I guess. It's the Dallas game under 6.5 goals is how I would look at that there. Dallas game under 6.5 at -120. And I always list the odds, Small World Lifter. So if you're new to the show, and we appreciate you coming in here, 2 things we ask you to do: hit the like button and grab a pen and paper so you can write down some of these plays as the night progresses. And you'll see the odds. You can kind of match those up if you're not certain about the play with your book. And you can always DM me on X. You can always hit me up on X there and say, hey, what did you mean by this play, or what did you think about that? So let's roll. Con Clip says the under 6 in Dallas money line is +236. Not mad at that play either. let's keep it rolling here. We got to get moving here because we got our boy about to jump in, and we got to get through the rest of this card here. Last full game on the card that I'm going to dive into for you guys. I told you, I love this NHL card. We're going to open it up here. We're not going to be gun shy because of our last NHL pop here. We're going to jump into this Calgary and San Jose game. And I got a little, I got a play and a lean in this one. So you can decide how you want to get into it. But San Jose is going to go out there and start Blackwood at 8-17-3. Calgary is going to start Dustin Wolf at 1-2-1. Not a lot of stats going on with this Wolf spot because he's been in the AHL. But he's been phenomenal in the AHL. He's with the Calgary Stampeders. He's got a 2.27 goals against average and a 92.7 save percentage out there. That team is 18-7-2. I know it's AHL versus NHL, but if you're going to put your backup in there and try to get him some testing or some ability to adjust to the speed, it's a faster game in the NHL. Then what a better team to do it than against the shitbag San Jose Sharks team out here. When you look at this team, they're just reeling. They're just not finding a way to stack W's up. And now they're sitting in a spot where they're like a -4. They're facing a -400 team. A lot of people are looking at this one thinking no team should be priced in this range, but San Jose is that bad. They should be priced in this range. They just played yesterday. So San Jose is on the second end of a back-to-back spot. This is their third road game, albeit that the All-Star break was in between. So really since the All-Star break, this is their second road game, I guess. But look, it was 1-0 against Winnipeg. We were on that under in that game because we know San Jose is just not scoring goals right now. So we've also got a situation where team coming off a shutout. I talked about this the other day. This is both teams, though. So both teams are coming off of these shutouts. The Flames got shut out to the Rangers, and the Sharks got shut out to the Jets. They're in a difficult spot, 26-50. Something's got to give, and I'm not going to lay the juice. But what I did find here, Western Conference away dogs, are 68-144. So that definitely puts a little check mark on the Calgary side of things. But I same game parlayed it with Kadri out there, Nelson Kadri, to get over 3.5 shots on goal. Why did I do that? And how did I come to that conclusion? First of all, it's a plus 146 spot. Now I took this minus 365s and 350s. I add this guy from a shots on goal perspective. His over 3.5 shots on goal is low vig at plus 105. It's actually plus money. When you put the two of those together, all we need is Calgary to win and him to get 4 shots on goal, and it's plus 146. I know I say that's all we need, but the Sharks allow the most shots on goal of any team in the NHL. They're averaging 35.5 shots on goal against this season. So that immediately puts Kadri in play. And if you look at his last 10 games, he's gone over 6 in his last 10. I'm sorry, he's gone over that number in 6 of his last 10 games. So 60% of the time he's getting 4 shots or more. We take that plus money spot. We couple it with the Calgary Flames. Just need Calgary to win and this guy to be a productive part of the offense. He gets top line billing on both the regular strength and power play spots out there in special teams. I'm comfortable he gets this over 3.5. I lean to the over 3.5 shots on goal because if you're thinking, hey, I want to ensure this in case somehow Calgary does lose, then you could take his 3.5 shots on goal at plus 105. But look, it's all nice to talk about what could happen if you're going to go fade a minus 350. But this is real world. This isn't some fantasy land or some make believe here. There's a reason that Calgary is priced the way they are and San Jose is in the position they're in here. And it's not because of skills and asset that San Jose has. So I'm comfortable with the Kadri over 3.5 and the Calgary spots that made my card. There's no sweat bet opportunities out there as well. And plus 146, I think, is a great way to buy down the juice on this team as opposed to just blindly fading a minus 350. In fact, if you hear anybody say, I just blindly faded a minus 350, stop following those people. They don't have your best interest in mind. They're just being lazy about how they're going about the card. So anyhow, that being said, I told you guys there is a parlay option out there. There's a boost. It's the last leg of this thing that I'm going to give you guys for the NHL slate tonight. And then we'll get into college basketball here. 7 o'clock tip-off, so we have to move quickly. The NHL parlay I'm rolling with here, 4-legger for you guys. It's going to be a stepped-up parlay over there on DraftKings. FanDuel's got a boost out there as well. And then you have to look at your various locals or your various books to see if there's any other incentives out there. But I've said it before. I'll commit to it. Every time I can get a boost out there, big, medium, or small, I want to take advantage of it so that you guys can kind of see what I'm seeing here. Without the boost, without the step up, I got a plus 501 out there. It's the Ottawa Senators, the Florida Panthers, the Dallas Stars, and the Pittsburgh Penguins all on the money line. We can go down the line. Pittsburgh coming off that bad spot there. They're playing Chicago. I get it that, we've got Connor Bedard coming back early from injury, but typically when that star does come back, you want to fade him. And it wasn't like he broke a finger, broke his fucking jaw. So there's going to be I think he's going to probably have the full face mask on there. He's a 17, 18-year-old kid. He's going to be a little trepidatious about going in the corner with his elbows high. It should be a high up-tempo game, but I like Pittsburgh to get that job done. The Dallas Stars money line, we just talked about the revenge spot. I got it that Florida's on the back-to-back here against Buffalo, but Buffalo struggles to win back-to-back games. That's been a thing for them. They did just finally get one against San Jose a couple weeks back for the second game in a row, but traditionally speaking, especially after coming off that monster performance there, I want to fade Buffalo and take the Florida Panthers. Sorry, Real Deal Prime. And then last but not least, I'm going to Ottawa. I'm going to fade that spot there against, the Anaheim Ducks out there. Let me just double check and make sure I'm talking about the right team here. I'm kind of flying off the cuff. Yeah, I'm going to fade them Anaheim Ducks. They showed me nothing against a shit team like Montreal, and that's a juicy spot for the Ottawa Senators. So 4-leg parlay, Ottawa, Florida, Dallas, and Pittsburgh makes it a plus 501 spot out there for anybody that's interested in following this along. Gamble says hockey players are the toughest athletes in all sports, for crying out loud. I don't disagree with that. But look, that's a young kid in a fast game, and you break your jaw, that hurts, believe you me. Loopy says Comrie for Buffalo has no wins in his last 5. He might pull off a W. I don't think so. Loopy. I mean, I get it. You know, they got some injuries with UPL, and now Comrie's going in there, but I'm willing to take that shot at it, and it's 5-1. So we got plenty of plus money across this NHL par. Tori Coker says, give me your 3 best plays. I mean, I like them all. Tori. I don't want to stand on that and say, be soft-sided with that. But if I had to break them down, I would say I like Tampa Bay. I like Dallas. And I don't know. I guess the Rangers in regulation. Oh, I'm sorry, the Rangers minus 1.5 at plus 102. There you go. There's my favorite 3. I had to do it off the fly. So Gamble says, I hope to God I'd never have to feel. It hurts, man. It hurts. And then, the thing you don't think about at the time is the residual clicking that your jaw gets every time you chew a piece of gum or eat a piece of steak or anything like that. So let's roll forward. 7 o'clock's right around the corner. It is not waiting for anybody. I know our boy C-Mac is going to be hopping along here shortly. But while we wait for our boy in much anticipation to talk mid-majors, he's rolling. He says he's here. Let's get going. I'll start it off. I got a couple spots to start this thing off here. I'm going to roll right off the hop here. I'm going to fade our green and gold here. We're looking at this Towson, William, and Mary team. And you guys know I was probably prematurely high on this William and Mary team to start the season off. And they've done nothing but do me dirty. So we got 90% of the bets and 96% of the cash on Towson. It's now moving. We've got it up to 7.5s and 8s. The total's dropping. You guys know I love to correlate the favorites to the unders. And this total's dropped now from 131.5 to 127.5. They've seen what William Mary does. They don't score. They don't score consistently. 50% of the bets and 65% of the cash on the under. And as I looked at this game here, I thought this was a great opportunity for this Towson team. We've got William and Mary lost 4 games in a row. Granted, 2 of them on the road and they're coming back home. Normally, that would be a spot I wanted to get involved with William and Mary. It's not today, though. We've got this Towson team is coming off a win against Elon, but they just took a beatdown against Delaware on their home court, 74-62. So I feel like this line's gotten a little softer for us given some of these circumstances. And, the big number that I'm looking at, kind of this unique intersection spot for these two teams. This trend has hit 9 times in a row. When the away favorite is off a double-digit win and the home dog is off a double-digit loss, they're 27-4-1 for the away favorite in those spots. Simple. It's as simple as you can get. They just won by double digits, and they're an away favorite. The home dog just came off a double-digit loss. I love this Towson spot. It's won 9 in a row. It's 27-4-1. Just do a quick line shop out there for you guys with this spot here. As I was looking at this Towson team, I told you I was big on this William and Mary spot, but it's shit the bed too many times for me to get behind them now. 7.5s are fine. It's minus 115 for 7.5 at BetMGM. It's minus 8 at Bet Rivers at minus 112. I'm good with either of those. 8.5, if that's all you can get, I'm fine with that as well. I think this is another double-digit win spot, and they get this cover for us. So that's how we're going to pop this card off here. We got to move this line to 7.5 to keep in the times of last call. But with all that cash coming in on them, we didn't want to see a frozen line. And in fact, we don't have it now. We've had some some pretty sizable movement. So get it while it's hot. That is going to be a 7 Eastern start for us here to open up the college basketball card. And we'll keep it rolling. I'm going to move on down. Shout out to my boy, Nick Earl. I know he loves these guys. Tim Earl as well. We're looking at Wichita State and East Carolina. And we've got 71% of the bets on East Carolina, but 60% of the cash on Wichita State. Here's the thing about that, though. I've told you guys, when we break these numbers down, we look at the bets as kind of the public. We look at the cash as kind of the bigger bettors or the sharps. And in this case here, we've moved from -1.5 to plus 1.5 to plus 2.5. Even though the bigger cash is coming in on Wichita State, the book said we don't care. We're going to move it. We're going to move it in your direction. If you liked it at plus 1.5, you got to love it at plus 2.5. And love it. In fact, I do. I'm going to jump on it. This money line is where I was going to go with this game. It's a little juicy now, though. Opened up at -11s, -130s, -134s, -137s, -140s, and moving on up. So we're going to lock it in. It's a simple one as well. Home favorites versus a team off an overtime loss, expecting the legs to be in a gas can situation, are 31-11. Home favorites versus a team off an overtime loss, 31-11. You know, I wouldn't be mad at anybody that was looking at a lower scoring game in this thing as well, but it's kind of coin flipping. I haven't seen a ton of movement on the total. So East Carolina, them Pirates made my card here for college hoops there. That's the second hoops game at 7 o'clock. And I see our boy Miggity Mac in the house. C-Mac, how you doing, my guy?
Mikey, what's going on, my man? Shout out to the chat. Let's hit on this game real quick.
Talk East Carolina?
Yeah, are you on East Carolina? I like the play. You know what? There's movement from – this game was earlier. It's 54-52. I forget what it was, maybe 3 weeks ago. And this line moved up 2 points, and now we see it come back down. I think if Wichita doesn't play one of these teams that gets up and down, Tulane, you know, any of these schools, Rice, and you play East Carolina, it's an under. Both these teams struggle to score. Like, the one thing that takes this game over is just shots being made. You know, Wichita, not the best defense. East Carolina, pretty good, not great, more gritty. They hold on to the ball, the whole shot clock, throw it around. But both these teams, I mean, they're awful from three. They're not very good. Their field goal percentage, 41% for East Carolina. Bad free throw shooting teams. These teams don't get to the line either. So to me, and we've seen the come down now finally a little bit. I mean, to me, it's just under nothing here. Under.
Yeah, you know, I was saying that as well. I kind of had that as a back play for me there, where I was thinking about dropping a half a unit on that as well. I think lower scoring makes a lot of sense here. It's mid-major ball here, and we've got a team in Wichita State that's just been.
Hey, yeah, it's mid-major. It happens. Like last night, I just needed a couple points with Wofford Mercer. I knew what I was getting to with taking that over, but I just had to. You know, to think of a team like Wofford so bad defensively, Mercer couldn't get to 65, which is kind of like, God damn it. But that's going to happen. We're talking about these schools at this level. It could be some ugly basketball. But more than likely, we keep rolling. We're going to win, Mikey. We're going to win. Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, you know, even though we're talking mid-majors with these boys here, I love them. And I was saying at the start of the show, like I saw the games that you wanted to talk about, and I was laughing because I was like, I love these games. You know, I took one on the chin last night. I had Iowa plus 5.5 in the money line. Sons of bitches let him go on a 25-1 run to end the game. They lost everything. I was like, you know what? So, you know, I know it's the Big Ten, and a lot of people talk about it being a difficult school a difficult conference to cap, but there's no guarantees. And just because they're bigger programs, you're going to be able to get the outcomes you want. How the hell does a team go up and then go off and then a 25-1? You couldn't make more than one free throw to finish off the game, and you take the L. So there's no guarantees, but I think the best part about these mid-major programs, softer markets, they got to put numbers on those Iowa programs and those those Alabamas and the Kansas games. But, you know, we're going to talk about this next game and talk about soft numbers here. We've got Lipscomb in North Alabama. That's going to open your card up here. It's 8:45 Eastern. This line opened at 2.5s. Some idle movement. It's 58% of the bets and 63% of the cash on Lipscomb. The totals moved up about a point here with 60% of the bets on the under, but 50-50 cash on the under, and yet it's moved up a point. So North Alabama and Lipscomb. We know Lipscomb 16-10, North Alabama 12-13. We did make some cash off of North Alabama a couple games back, C-Mac, but not a game I looked at. Love to hear your breakdown. Take it away.
Yeah, well, I'm big backer of Lipscomb. In years past and even this year, they've cashed plenty. But I think this is kind of just a shitty spot for them. You know, they're off. These teams played January 20th, 88-79. Lipscomb was at home. They got the win, just got the cover. That number was 6.5. Now they hit the road here. I think this is a game for Northern Alabama, a team I haven't bet much on all year long. Finally got hot after that game, Mike. I think they ripped 5 or 6 off straight. They go to Jacksonville, kind of lose a sluggish game. They're 67-63. But when I look at all the numbers here, these teams are pretty even. You know, Lipscomb can score. You know, they can get to the rim. But both these teams not crazy shooting free throws, and both not that great. North Alabama 74%, Lipscomb 76%. I think just 3 points at home. I want North Alabama to get them here. I want these 3 points. I think they can win outright. But and this is a dangerous one. But this is, I think, teams. You know, yesterday I was kicking myself for not taking Upstate. They were on the road, but they were getting 14. The High Point, you know, they beat them outright. It did go to OT. So some of these that you will lose, I got to stick to my shit here. I think there's tons of value here. +3 North Alabama at the house.
Yeah, I like that spot. You know, you look at Lipscomb, they're 7-4 in the conference. North Alabama's 6-5. So it's not like there's a ton of conference differential. The thing that I think gets Lipscomb in trouble is their lack of being able to play defense. I mean, look down the board. Kennesaw, 95 points. Queens, 88 points. Jacksonville, 82 points.
That's
North
true.
Florida,
They're the better North Alabama, the better defensive team. Not crazy, but they are. Yeah.
So give me the 3 at home and what could essentially amount to a coin flip with the team that's better in the conference. I love the spot there. I think that's a great look. You know, North Alabama's been good to me, so I'm a little biased, but I feel like I caught them at the right time to be biased, because if they shit the bed on me early in the season, they'd be all over my shit list. So I love the look there. North Alabama for our guy, 3s, 2.5. You still like 2.5? Same difference, 6 and 1.5. It does in the other. That's
fine. I mean, get the 3 though, if you can.
Gotcha. Let's roll on. We've got another one here. I went a little out of sequence, but it's an 8:30 start. We've got Southern Indiana going out there on the road to Tennessee Martin. We've got some movement in the home team's direction. 80% of the bets and 91% of the cash on this Tennessee Martin side of things. And we've got all this cash coming in on the over. 70% of the bets, 83% of the cash. We really haven't seen maybe a half a point of movement in that direction. I say all this, I mean, there's 1,700 tickets. Let's not get too excited here, but just as a frame of reference for where this cash is coming in, it's on the over, and they haven't really moved the line, C-Mac. So love to see this one here. Tennessee Martin, 15-10, 8.5 is going to have to win by double digits. Do you think they can come out there and get the job done?
Yeah, I'm going to the total here, Mikey. I'm on this under. I don't know how this total's in the 150s at this number. Like, I had this listed 146, 147. Tennessee Martin, 1-9 to the under. Just been a dead nuts under team. I don't know. The books just haven't been on this team. They think they're going to start scoring. And hey, we're talking shitty schools. This could happen. But on the other here with Southern Indiana, they've been crazy, more of an over team, and their lines have been a little bit lower, you know, as in years past. And even this year, they've 130s, 140s. They've been going over. And there could be some points, but I got to trust both these teams. Southern Indiana, not a great shooting team. They're okay, but they're not great from the field. Tennessee Martin, they've been money to me. You can shoot the 3 decent. And both teams, especially Tennessee Martin, why this keeps working is they play defense. Their numbers keep getting better game in and game out, and they're not lowering the total. Under.
I'm going to tell you on this play. I know I got a shit ton of action out there, but you know, what's another couple $100? You're right on. I think about that defense here, and you're bringing them home, right? So we know it's their home defense. You know, I talk about the sight lines all the time, and you're just you're poking the bear a little bit on a team that, you know, win one, lose one. There's not a lot of consistency. They're coming off of back-to-back losses. They did take down that Southern Illinois, the Southern Illinois Edwardsville. I'm struggling to say that one there.
Yeah, Edwardsville. Yeah.
At +4 as a dog, they spanked them. So you got another situation too where you're kind of coming off a big win for them, and it's Tennessee Martin's homecoming. And even though they were homecoming, they still were shutting teams down on the road. So give me the better defense at home there. I love that number. And I like cash coming in.
Yeah. I just think they've gotten better, like, as the year's gone on. These are some you can't take the full year's total. You got to kind of cut back to maybe just in conference, cut out all the other bullshit when they're getting beat down by big schools. You got to cut out those games in December. We do that in other sports and college football. I do it here in college basketball. So it's just crazy amount of value. Now, if they get red hot, but even some of these games for Southern Indiana, both teams, to me, when you got a number like this, Mike, they kind of go over 75. Or if one team's 85 and 70, that gets us over. Like, I just too much value here. Too much value. I had to be on it.
Yeah, I think the numbers show that we maybe see a 60 on the road team there, and then how much does the home team need to push to go out there and get the job done with a big number like that too? It always suggests to me that we see a little bit of a lower scoring, more of a pace game, and that's what we know they like to run. So I was trying to find this next one here. I'm scrolling around feverishly trying to get to it, and I am there. It is 8:30 Eastern. I should have wrote the time down to it. There's so much shit on the spreadsheet already. We'll look at this Arkansas State game here. We've got Troy and Arkansas State. I know some of you guys in the chat, guys and girls in the chat, were talking about Troy, and can't be mad at that here. This line opened at 5.5. It has moved to 6.5. So 81% of the bets and 65% of the cash on Troy, and it's moving in that direction. So that's a little check mark if you're on the Troy side of things. 53% of the bets and 56% of the cash on the under, and it's dropped now 4 points on that under. That's the line I'm taking here. I'm looking at this under for a lower scoring game as well. I got it 154.5. Here we are. We're still seeing movement in that direction. 153.5. So there's still a 154 out there. Let me just double check and make sure 154 is the spot that I can get involved with on this one. And you look at these two teams again. We see Troy alternates over, under, right? There's not consistency in the way that they play defense. And it's very much the same thing on the Arkansas State side of things. But if you look at this matchup between these two teams, the last 6 games have gone under 156 points. So, we're still kind of sitting there with this number. It's getting a little lower now. It's getting a little softer than I'd like it to be. But Arkansas State, when they're on the road, 36-15-1 to that team, specifically to the under. It's like their offense doesn't travel in those spots to some regard. 10-0 in their last 10. They've gone under on the road in 11 straight games. So it's like all signs to me point to this being a lower scoring game. And the fact that the number continues to drop means I'm all over it. I'm going down to this 154. Pop me in on this under with these two teams here, Troy and Ark State. The favorite's going to get the job done. That supports the under for me as well. I love to correlate the two. Did you have any thoughts on that Troy game?
Berkey, my man. Yeah, I think that bet's good, even with the money. I think they could cover that number. Old Dominion, a little bit where they play better is at home, but I think Lafayette's good there. I like to bet in that game. I like Troy here in this one. I don't want to lay the 6.5, really. I mean, I think this is a gettable game. I think you can lay it and be fine. And they've been great. People put in the chat, Troy to the moon, AOD. Yeah, they've been nothing but money. I'm not going to touch the total either. If they come locked, one thing with Arkansas State, this team just gets up and down. They're sloppy with the ball. They're bad on the road, and definitely don't want them on the side. So I get it. I'm right with you here. I'd lay it with Troy.
Yeah, there's just we've got 11 straight for Ark State. These two teams line it up. Troy says Troy to the moon. I agree. Troy Torrance likes Troy. That's sounds like a future shirt. Troy likes Troy. Let's go. We've got 9 o'clock, you guys. 2 more college basketball games that our guy C-Mac's going to take us through. Then we're going to transition. We'll knock down these 3 NBA games and get you guys up out of here. Again, a short NBA schedule, so we were happy to dig in here and talk some college hoops with you guys. 9 o'clock tonight, we're going to help you get this hardwood fix. Idaho State, Eastern Washington. We've got a 9.5, 78% of the bets, 80% of the cash on Eastern Washington. I guess some books have moved it a half point now. So we're starting to see some 10s out there. 143.5s have moved on up to 144.5s and 145s. But the interesting spot there, 55% of the bets and 68% of the cash on the under. And yet it's starting to move on up the line there. C-Mac, love to hear what you have to say about this. For some reason, I'm an Eastern Washington guy. I don't think they've covered enough spreads for me to be so committed to them. They're 16-8. They are 15-7 on the spread line this year. And I'm curious to hear, after 3 straight wins, do they make it number 4 at home against this Idaho State team?
I think they do. That was one of my big things looking at them is this number, especially below 10. Double digits is right where I wanted here with Eastern Washington to cover. Idaho State, just not the same team on the road here. 4-10. They've been decent. They're 11-14, and they've been all right against the number. When I see these Idaho schools, State and Idaho, I want to back them a little more at home, especially in conference play when we're catching points. On the road at this number, Eastern Washington, better shooting team. This could get a little bit dicey, but I had to roll it. Eastern Washington, it's consistently. Last year they dropped one to them. They've beat up on this team consistently, Mike, by 10 or more. I love it. Better scoring team here. Defenses, it's all right. Idaho State, some categories are a little bit better. They don't shoot good free throws, and Eastern Washington does. I'll take 75% here, and they get to the line at the end of the night. Yeah. So, bingo. I'll take Eastern Washington, lay it.
That's the key for the bigger numbers, right? When you start to get those fouls, you got to be effective.
That's what I look at.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
And spread covering like a machine. So there's 4 teams that I like at home more than I like on the road. You mentioned that. It's funny. Idaho and Idaho State, and then Portland and Portland State. Portland's not really good anywhere, but they're
rough.
They should be relegated probably, but that's for another day. Let's go. We got another 9 o'clock spot here. With this card here. Actually, no, I'm sorry. I'm mistaken here. I was overexcited to talk about that Portland spot there, and and I misspoke. But
Portland State, Are you on that game real quick?
I was looking at it. I like the points there. I'm not I used to be a Northern Colorado fan, North Colorado, for a bunch of years here. We'll talk about it for a minute. We got a second to throw this one in there. -1.5 has moved to -2.5. 55% of the bets and 72% of the cash on North Colorado. But God, I almost think this is a good Portland State spot to get the job done. The total, 66% of the bets, 79% of the cash on the under. We're not really seeing any movement there, but this game kind of means a lot for Portland State. 11-11, they're kind of a split spot against the spread. Then you look at kind of who they have coming up. Their next games after this North Colorado spot, Northern Arizona, and then Montana State, right? And both those teams are kind of shitbags in the conference. So if this team's going to go and make their mark here, it's got to be winning this game at home. Then they know they can go take down North Arizona and Montana State. So I don't think we're getting the look ahead here with these guys. I like this Portland State team on the money line. What do you think?
I wouldn't mind it. I want the over here. For me to play it, I needed a few points lower. Mikey, 149, 150 was a go for me. So this was a lean. Both teams don't play defense. Northern Colorado, we know how well they've been to the overall year. Portland State 9-13, but still a team that gets them in down. Both these teams back and forth, pace, are tops. And there's not a ton of defense going on. So as long as the shots go down, I think this game can get over, even here at 153. So it was just a lean for me. And Northern Colorado playing well. I think they won 5 of 6 or 6 of 7. And Portland State dropped 3 straight. They need this bad here. Kind of before that, you mentioned ripped off 3 straight. 3 straight on a 3-game losing streak. They need this. So I think they come to play. I didn't mind it. You kind of got to go just money line with them. I mean, it's 1.5, right? Now
there's some 2s out there, but
some 2s.
Now that we've talked about it, I am going to move on this Portland State team because it's the later window.
2.5. 2.5. Mikey.
2.5.
I don't mind it, but
you know what? And I see it's -106. So the 2.5 at -106 over there on FanDuel. That's gonna be the spot there. I think the value at +120. I mean, they're gonna win this game. The 2.5 though, I'll take the bucket and the bucket and the hook in my back pocket here. I love the the team that's coming off of 3 games, 3 straight losses, and then coming back home. I love that angle. And I know I see him in the chat there. Dabby Cab and I have talked about when do you jump on first half spots. I don't know that I would say that this is his type of situation where he would. In fact, I know with a mid-major program, he's not looking at jumping on this first half, but I feel like this is a spot where he would be like, you got to take these points. And, here we go coming at home after this 3 losses. I'll take them for the full game. They need this win. This is program saving opportunity for them to move back up the leaderboard. 2.5 at -106 for me. Since we talked about it, that's how easy it is to put an extra spot on my card. And I think it makes a lot of sense.
I love it. Fire away, Mikey.
It's a later start too, so I should have ample funds in the kitty to go with at that point. So we'll lock that one down, and then let's close this card out for college hoops here. We've got this Colorado and UCLA game here. We got UCLA versus Colorado. I'm eager to hear your thoughts on this one here. I was originally talking a little bit about this earlier today. I'm trying to find it. Is it a 9 o'clock start?
Yeah,
9 o'clock
9.
Eastern. There it is, 9 o'clock Eastern. 38% of the bets and 63% of the cash on these Colorado Buffaloes, yet the line hasn't moved. 137 is where the number opened up. Half a point movement on both sides, depending on where you're looking. 68% of the bets and 58% of the cash on the over. And again, kind of a frozen line there, C-Mac. So interesting look here. Colorado 16-8, but don't sleep on these Bruins who have quietly amassed themselves a nice little 5-game win streak as they're going down the stretch. Colorado, Utah, and then close the season out with USC. Lay it on us. Tell us what you think.
Yeah, you mentioned it. I mean, it's moved a little bit. I mean, basically not much, a pick 'em. This did touch 2s for Colorado. Now basically 1.5s everywhere. You know what? I could see how you think Colorado off the loss to Arizona, who just got their ass blitzed, especially in the second half, Mikey, on Saturday. It was, especially for them at home, was not great. I don't think they're great defensively. And their one road win was against Washington, a team, at home. I like that night. Just didn't, they have their struggles defensively, and Colorado was red hot. But I still don't trust them on the road. Big thing here with UCLA, which has changed a little bit. They're finally, the offense is a little bit better, and they're making some shots after losing by 50 or whatever the fuck it was at Colorado. Like the worst loss in the history of that program. I think it was, or had to be close, 90-44. I think they've won 7 of 8. They even lost at Arizona by 6. They've been grinding out, and their defense has really stepped up, and I think that's what comes to play here. And especially just hit some threes. They're not going to shoot, a crazy amount and a great percentage, but they've been a little bit better. They were awful. This team couldn't hit nothing. They couldn't find the basket there early on in the year. But, look through these wins, Oregon, Stanford, Cal, Oregon State, SC on the road. SC's not great. But, hey, I'll take them here. I'm not going crazy on this bet. But I had to take the +2 here with UCLA.
Yeah. The thing about UCLA to me, the nature
they need to win. Both teams need to win. I'm not so, I don't know.
And they're a young team. They're a young team with Mick Cronin, who's, he's definitely a X's and O's guy. He definitely likes to pull the old board out and start to draw up the diagrams. Takes time for young players to understand the language that this guy's speaking. And I think when you look at, their freshmen and sophomores are kind of leading that squad offensively, that correlates here to why we're seeing these guys start to pick up these wins now. So they're not right off team.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yeah. No, it just took time. They've lost so many players. They've had such great teams the last 3 or 4 years and good runs in the tournament. And, just so many new faces. And it took some time for them to get rolling, just like you're talking about. So playing their best basketball right now. I gotta be on them here at Poly.
Like it, like the play. Let's roll here. Not much going on in the NBA tonight with this 3-game spread here. We got arguably 2 shit games and a makeup game at our disposal. But not sure if you got anything out there. I did come across 2 spots that I wanted to jump into. So we've got this Bucks and Grizzlies game to kind of kick this card off here with this short spot. buyer beware in these spots here, right? Because we've got now, this is the last game set before the All-Star break, so you got to tread lightly. This Bucks line opened at 9.5, 73% of the bets and 54% of the cash on the Bucks. It's 13.5s now, and they're starting to see 14s. The total's dropping from 226.5 down to 223.5s and 222.5s. But we have 58% of the bets and 53% of the cash on the over in this thing, and we're seeing kind of some reverse line movement in that situation. You know, we know the Bucks just got spanked 2 nights ago by Miami, 123-97, but they quietly kind of picked up a Charlotte win and then handled Denver all on their home court. Now they're going to the road. Last trip here, last stop before the All-Star break, and Memphis coming off that big win against Houston. They were 2.5-point dogs, 121-113, C-Mac. Look, I like the spot at 11. With the games that I've added, I don't know that I want to go 13.5s now, though. I think I'm going to have to, you know, I could expect the Bucks to win this thing here. You know, this is kind of another one here where I got the non-conference road favorites are 9-0 against the spread in a triple revenge spot, which very much is this Bucks game here. Rested double-digit favorites are 8-0 against the spread in the revenge spot if they're off a spread law after they just got waxed, essentially is what just happened here. So it's kind of the intersecting spot of zeros, but I don't know. Talk to me what you think about this game.
Yeah, I mean, it's the revenge, a little bit different rosters, especially with the Grizz off, you know, where the Bucks have had trouble with him. You mentioned this is a revenge game, losing 3 straight to him the last couple of years. And the Bucks just got drilled. It's just classic. They played so well, beat up the Nuggets the night before, play great, and then just let the Heat, who have had their number, just get beat down. Memphis had the game last night, you know, beat the Rockets. This team is just scrappy. Like, I just, they finally got blown out of some really, really bad losses. But it looks like Giannis is in, Lillard is in. What do we get here for the break? Do we get the beat down, or they mess around? I don't want to lay points with Milwaukee. I mean, congrats to you. I hope you win. I just cannot do it at all. You know, our guy Billy Briz put it on there. When I looked at this, I just was glancing through the props because I haven't bet on this game. Of course, you go to Jackson Jr., but I think Williams, which he had, was a great play. I think his points were around 14 and a half. I think he could get there. I think he was looking at the first quarter when I saw his thing on Twitter. I thought about that. I didn't make a move. So get that cash. Shout out to Razor, my dude.
Shout out to our guy Razor Sharp Picks out there. Congrats, my guy, crossing over the subscriber milestones with his channel and what he's doing over there, and his subscribers on X there. Razor Sharp is doing great things. And
I got to get up in the morning and join him, man. I'm going to here soon.
Get on some ponies, call some straps.
Well, yeah, I got to be. You know, he's a 3-hour difference. I got to get up. 9 o'clock. Jump on 9 or 10.
I'm looking at this. I'm looking at this Grizz game. I mean, everybody's out for the Grizz, right? Smart, Rose, Kennard, Jackson, Morant, Clark, Conchar, Bain, Pippen.
Jackson's not even in play, right?
Yeah, and Jaren Jackson's out. Thursday's got the quad. Luke Kennard's going to be out with the knee.
Maybe it's easy winner for you, Mikey.
I'm going to stay with it. I'm not going to back off. You know, I backed off of a Sixers game the other day that worked out to be the right move for me, but not in this one. I'm going to stay with the Bucks here. It's now minus 13.5, so it's still an endorsement for me. Look, the double endorsement has to do with the revenge spot. I get it with the roster changes, but the fact that they're in that revenge spot where they lost against the spread by 11 points there, scoring below their total, it still shows that all signs point to go. Let's move on to the next game here. Let's talk about this Golden State Jazz game. -1, now 2.5s. 77% of the bets, 70% of the cash on the Warriors. And the totals moved up 3 points from 237.5 to 240.5. 62% of the bets, 63% of the cash. Think we're going to see points, and the line has kind of shown that they think we're going to see points here. Anything on this game for you, C-Mac?
Over. You know, it's already moved. It's tough to give it out 240, but I still think you can get there with both these teams. I just don't see a bunch of defense on the back-to-back here. Jazz have finally dropped a couple, you know, here at home, limping a little in. I haven't been on them, and I don't really want to be on them tonight. It's tempting because, you know, we know how good they've been at home, and I was crazy with them this year. for the most part, but I haven't played them the last, I think, 3 home games. And they haven't got it done. Golden State, both teams, got beat down by the Lakers, the Jazz, back-to-back. Golden State, after winning 7 straight, they finally dropped one to the Clippers last night. Bunch of points in that one. To me, it's just over in this game. I go back to the Jazz. I mentioned it. We had it on here earlier as stats. I think it's worth the play. The juice is a little high. You know me, I don't like going to it too much. Mikey, it's right around 130 is Collins rebounds, and his double-double is plus 150, but these last 10 games, 22-16, 22-10, 15-7, 11-11, 15-9, 15-10, 22-9, 21-14. He just had 11-10 last night. Seems like he gets at least 9 rebounds. It's at 8.5. I'd only be on the over with his boards there. I think he can get it, and maybe put a little on the double-double at plus 150.
And everybody looks like a go. I'm surprised with Golden State. The only guy that's not playing is Chris Paul on both these sides. So for all intent and purpose, I love the thought that the points there makes a lot of sense. I did have a trend for you guys on these points here. The Jazz are 11-0-1 to the over, coming off a home loss by 5 or more points. So kind of a situational fit for the Jazz specifically in this spot. And everybody's a go. So
Golden State's on their ass though.
Yep.
And that's why I just, even at home, this has not been great for the Jazz versus Warriors.
In the second leg of the back-to-back, we know tends to see points getting scored because defense kind of falls down here. No play for me on this one. Let's talk about this last game, and we'll get everybody locked down and out of here. We got the T-Wolves and the Trailblazers that opened up at 9.5. They're starting to see some 10s. We got 52% of the bets, 76% of the cash on the Trailblazers. The total's dropping. We said 216.5s. We're down to 215s. And it looks like a little split job here. 66% of the public, the bets are on the over. 64% of the cash is on the under, C-Mac. Minnesota Timberwolves, Portland Trailblazers, the 10 p.m. showcase, final game before the All-Star break. Give us some insight.
Well, the other night when they played this game, I was like, I'm going to stay off in the end. The Blazers worked out good. They didn't get the cover because I knew this back-to-back was coming. And then when I've got to today, nothing's made me want to back the Blazers. I want to take them here plus 10. I think after just losing by whatever it was, 12 the other night, right? I believe it was. No, more than that. Or was it 13? 121, 109. Yeah, it was 12. Okay. Yeah, so I'm close. This is a lean for me here with the Blazers. I think Ayton, look to him. He had a big game just the other night against them. I think he had 22 and 16. His double-doubles at even money. A lot of spots I've looked, minus 105, even here on DraftKings. Like, this guy should have a double-double. And especially in a game like this, I think he should get it. So I think you look to Ayton's double-double in this one. Grant's been a little bit hit and miss. I've been on some of his props, and his points are 19.5. It's juiced. I think you go take his points and rebounds, which would be at 23.5. I was going through that earlier today. Like, this guy can't get 5 boards. Like, come on. It seems like a game they could get. And how much, T-Wolves here, this means to them, this game. Is Edwards going to be out, by the way? Is he a go?
Edwards.
I haven't looked.
Questionable. Still questionable.
Yeah, that's all I have. I haven't heard any news on it. Someone has. So
I see Moore and Edwards are questionable. Jalen Clark's out. Then we've got Brogdon, Williams, and Brown out. We've got Scoot's probable, so Scoot should be getting in there. Look, this spot for me, I just kind of looked at this one and I thought, it should have been the Nets yesterday against the Celtics, where it's like if they lost the first game, they win the second game at a 65% clip. Now, I guess
it's true. It's just
the Celtics. The Celtics were going home in that spot, so in hindsight, that kind of made a lot of sense. But between that factor where they just kind of got down in that spot here, then I got this one here. Minnesota, this is an Anthony Edwards one specifically. When he scores 40 or more points, the next game, Minnesota's 0-5 against the spread. It's like he gasses out. And then the Timberwolves are 0-9 against the spread when they attempted at least 29 free throws the previous game. So it's kind of a little spot for me where I was like, I think I can get on these Trailblazers here. The 10, the double. I want 10 though. I don't want this number to drop anymore. or if I can get even higher, then I'd love it. But I'm locked in at plus 10. I'm gonna stay with it. I got 2 NBA games. I'm comfortable with those two. I don't like that. I don't love that these points have moved as high as they have in the Bucks, but I'm just gonna take the full game and ride that little spot out there with the revenge after shitting the bed their previous game, and I'm gonna drop it on this Portland Trailblazers game to kick it off here. So
yeah,
C-Mac,
I might have some. I might have some with them. Take the 10 and the 8 and double, something late maybe tonight. So
and I see the 8 and double move from plus 110 to it's now like minus 102 out there. So you're seeing the movement.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah,
God, he should get it in his sleep, especially if he plays 30 minutes. Like he should get that. Like, come on.
And I see some of the chats here. Jared Bush likes the under in the Bucks game, his only NBA play. Fernando Mendoza likes the Blazers first half plus 5.5. Shout out to all you guys that were rocking with us here. We covered a big show today and a lot to get into here with college basketball. Ton of NHL. Going to be a lot of fun to watch these games tonight. C-Mac, always enjoy you, our resident on Thursdays here. Tell them what you got going on. We got the Saturday show, Daddy and yourself, Billy Briz. I'm going to roll in there as well. Last Saturday kicked off my monster Saturday run, so I'm not going to miss this one. What's kicking?
Yeah, just don't get too trashed on a Friday night. We need you to get in and drop all the looks. Yeah, Saturday. I'll have the game here later. I was just going to pull up the schedule. I don't even know what we're going to do, but it doesn't even really matter. We're all the morning games, and we'll get to everything that afternoon. And NBA will be on the break, so we'll have a little NHL. It'll be a nice, relaxing Saturday. Right? I love it.
Good stuff. Love having you here, my guy. Enjoy your breakdowns in the mid-majors with me here, the big college basketball games, and of course, you're a prolific hockey guy as well. So a lot of fun. Always enjoy capping. Love hanging out with you guys on Saturdays as well. So we'll do it. We'll rock and roll. We're gonna put the bow on the show. Our guy T on the 1s and 2s, locking it down out there. We appreciate everybody dropping in, guys. On your way out the door, we had a big number in here tonight. Hit that thumbs up for us. Show the support. Give all you guys the shout outs there. Ian Shaber, 101 Benny, Jared Bush. Great to see my guy in the chat there. I know he's been on the Razor Horse streams as well as Waldo Martin out there hanging out, doing the thing. Cheshire Liquor Store. Fernando Mendoza. Jacqueline, what's up, Jacqueline? It's great to see you. Marcus McCarthy. Guys, subscribe to Pub Sports if you haven't done so already. I know we had some new guys out there from England today, some Australian guys in there as well. We're going worldwide with this thing at Pub Sports. Hit your notifications on. When we go live, you'll be in the know, whether it be live streams, live shows, breaking down cards, UFC, or what have you. And listen, become a member, $9.99 a month. What we're doing out there is we're giving you guys access to exclusive members-only content. We did the NFL shows this year with the Circa entry specific to members. We've got all kinds of things like discounts in the merch store out there. Get some swag, get some gear, get some pub rub out there to get the barbecue rolling in the right direction as spring is in the air. And of course, we've got the virtual horse races Wednesdays and Fridays. Your shot to win free cash. It's always great, $50. The more we get members in there, the more the pot will grow. Appreciate everybody dropping in here tonight. We got one more day this week tomorrow. Good luck with your bets tonight. And you know what they say, C-Mac. Stay pubbing, baby. Let's go. Get that cash.
BB pubbing!